Welcome to the AI Queens podcast, the show where women entrepreneurs learn to ditch the overwhelm, embrace AI, and build businesses fit for royalty. I'm Erika Stanley, your host and tech expert, here to deliver tools, tips, and actionable strategies to help you scale smarter. Let's get to it. Hey, Queens, and welcome back to the AI Queens podcast. I'm your host, Erika Stanley, and I am coming at you fresh off of an amazing Buildathon this week. If you've been following along, I've been talking about it for weeks. We built a Claude command center. So obviously Claude is kind of the it girl right now and everybody's talking about it. And so what I led people through during the Buildathon was exactly how I have built my own morning Claude command center using Claude Cowork. Now, the reason for this is because these days, 2026, we have so many different places where things are coming at us. Like as a business owner, I've got my email, which I manage in Gmail. I've got Slack, iMessages, like things coming through in text. I keep track of things in Notion. I keep track of things in Apple Notes. I've also got, obviously things coming through Instagram and LinkedIn, although those are not connected. But I really just needed a place where all of those digital touch points where people are reaching out to me, that they could all come into one centralized location. And and my calendar, obviously, that's a big, huge one. And then obviously there's some stuff that is just on my brain that is not held digitally. So I needed a place for all of these things to come together, and then using the insights within AI, within the LLM that I'm using, which for me is Claude, kind of a way for me to prioritize those things. As someone with a neurospicy brain, sometimes I know if I've got a ton of things on my to-do list, I have a hard time getting started. It can feel overwhelming, and I don't know necessarily what are the things that I should tackle first. And even if I do know, sometimes it's hard for me to start those things. So what the Claude Command Center does is it takes into account all of the things that you've got coming at you, and it helps to prioritize my day. So today, for the AI Queens podcast, I am going to talk you through a really high level, super quick and dirty version of what we did during the Buildathon. And then I'm going to give you access to a resource at the end and in the show notes that you can go and download. It's the same exact resource that I gave away during the Buildathon. So if you wanted these quick start steps, if you want the extra workbook to help level up your command center afterwards, you will have access to all of that. So I'm going to put all of that in the show notes, and I will talk about it a little bit more at the end. But let's jump in to the quick start guide that I created, and I'm just going to walk you through these steps one at a time. First of all, you are going to need the desktop app for Claude. You cannot do this in the browser yet. You're going to need the desktop app. So if you have not downloaded that and logged in, you're going to need to do that. And you're going to need a Claude subscription. Just the very basic $20 a month will do it, but you're going to need that. If you do not want to do that, if you don't want to build this in Claude and you've already got a ChatGPT subscription, you can basically do what I'm explaining in ChatGPT. There's this called Codex. So you will download the desktop app of Codex, and you can do everything that I'm explaining today, you can do in Codex. Okay, so that's number one. You're going to need to download those desktop apps. Second of all, you're going to want to make a folder. Now, you can create this folder on your desktop. In your documents folder, you can make the folder. For example, if you have your Google Drive connected to your computer, you can actually make the folder in Google Drive. But the reason we're going to do this is because you're going to give Claude permission to read and write to the things that are in that folder. You don't necessarily at this point want to give Claude access to your entire computer. You're only going to give it access to that one folder so that it can read and write files in that folder. And that will keep the rest of your computer safe and private. Step 3. you're going to start a new project in Claude. Now, within the desktop app in Claude, you're going to go to Cowork and start a new project. And that's in the left-hand sidebar. You'll just click on project, start a new project, name it Daily Command Center or something like that. And when you do that, you're going to give it access to the folder that you just made, wherever that is. Step 4, this is where it really gets powerful. You're going to connect your tools. Now, down in the bottom left-hand corner of your Claude app, you will see your name, your profile, and you can click on settings. Within settings, you're going to want to find connectors. Depending on which version of Claude is the most up to date, you might have to click around a little bit. In my sidebar, it was just called connectors. So you'll find that, and you're going to search for whatever your email client is. If you're Gmail, or if you're on Yahoo, or if you're old school and you've got an AOL, whatever it is, you are going to connect your email. And for this, it'll give you options for what type of access you want to give it. I have it as automatically allowed to read only. So it can read my emails without asking me permission. But anything having to do with writing or sending or making changes on my behalf, I have it stop and ask me permission every time it does that. So you'll see those permission settings when you go to set up your email connector, and just really think about what you want it to be able to do on its own versus what you want it to stop and ask you for permission to do. Same thing with calendar. If you're using Google Calendar, it's a very easy connection. The other one you could do, I mean, within the workshop, I asked people to just start with 2, Gmail and calendar, because let's be honest, that's where most of your stuff comes in. But if you wanted to add, if you've got a task management software that you use or project management software like Notion or Todoist or ClickUp, something like that, you can add that too. I mean, you can add as many connectors here as you want. I have added my Fathom, which is what I bring to me. It's my AI meeting assistant that I bring to all of my meetings. And so I've got a ton of connectors, but I'd say for the purposes of getting this set up, stick to 2 or 3, get them connected, approve each sign in. But don't forget to only turn on what you want Claude to be able to see. Now, step 5. I used Adobe's PDF spaces to create this. And as I have mentioned in previous episodes, I am an Adobe ambassador, Adobe Acrobat ambassador. But again, I'm using this tool, just as I use my other tools, because it's the best tool for this job. So I basically created an interactive workbook for you guys and put all of the documents in this Adobe PDF space, which is super easy to use, and I love it. The link to that can be found at links.mileanddigital.com/CCC for Claude Command Center. And I will put that link in the show notes. I know it's a lot, but it's links.mileanddigital.com/CCC. And that will take you to the Adobe PDF space for the Claude Command Center. And what you're going to find in there is it's a bunch of documents, but at this point for step 5, there is a prompt that you are going to copy and paste straight out of the file, straight out of the notes. You're going to copy the build prompt and paste it into the first chat in your new Claude project. So you're just going to copy and paste that whole prompt and start a new chat in your new project and hit send. At this point, Claude is going to ask you 6 questions, one at a time. Don't spend too much time on this, but this is going to help you set up exactly what is going to go into your command center and the information that it needs to pull. So let's go through those 6 questions real quick, just so that you have an idea of what you're going to need to know when you sit down at your computer later today and you start doing this. So the first question, your name, what your business does, just in a couple of sentences. This is the context. This is like the background of your brand. If you have brand guidelines, you can actually add them in here. If Claude already knows this, tell it, girl, I need you to fill these in as much as you can by yourself. Number 2, your top priority right now. So, what is the thing for you that matters most in your business this month or this quarter? Number three, the people and the clients whose messages you never want to miss. Who are those people who email you and you're like, oof, I got to answer that right now? And this can change from month to month, obviously, but just put in what is active and on your mind right now. Question four. And this is a big one. This is where it gets really powerful with those lists of priorities. So, number four, when something is competing for your attention, what should win? So, for example, as a business owner, I prioritize revenue generating activities, which can mean a couple of different things. But if I have a client project with a deadline coming up and I know I'm going to invoice at the end of the project, that is a revenue generating activity. If I don't have an active client project, what generates revenue? Well, outreach, reaching out to leads and trying to get the people that I know can benefit the most from my services to work with me. So that's going to vary a little bit based on what you do, where you're at in your business, and what you are telling it are those priorities. Anything with a hard deadline, for example, or if you've got something that you should have done last week that you haven't done yet. So, okay. Number five, what do you want to see every morning? What would be most helpful for you in your Claude command center? So, for example, if you want to see your most urgent emails first, and then you want to see what's on your calendar for the day. So just give it a rough idea of the order of operations for when it gives you the output. And then finally, the tone. Do you want it to be direct? Do you want it to be warm and friendly? Do you want it to be a little funny? During the workshop, we had somebody who said they wanted it phrased as a Tina Fey and Amy Poehler weekend update style update, which I thought was hilarious. And I might actually change mine to that as well. But yeah, so just like what kind of tone, what would be most helpful for you? And so once you answer those 6 questions, it's going to run the briefing and give you an example. Now, this is not the final format of your briefing, but it's going to pull from your connected tools and it's going to assess based on what you've told it, what is the most important thing. It's going to keep it super short and clear for you. It's going to spit that out. If what it gives you in that first output isn't quite right, then don't hesitate to jump in and say, oh, that's not quite right. Let's do this instead. It's going to learn as it goes and get a little bit better. The final thing that you're going to need to ask it to do. Oh, actually, there's 2 final things. There's 2 final things that you're going to have to ask it to do. Once you've got it totally dialed in and the briefing looks good, ask it to create memory, to create an MD file. And that MD file will be, it's called Markdown. It's a format of writing in text only that makes it super easy for LLMs to read and write. But you're going to want to have it create a Markdown file in the folder that you created on your desktop, in your Google Drive, wherever that is. For some of the people in the workshop, it created that MD file automatically. And for some people, it didn't. For mine, it created automatically. So I didn't even add this in as a step. But if you look in that folder and it's still empty, ask Claude to create an MD file with the instructions, with the format of what it's going to need to run this briefing for you every single day. And then, so this is the very last step and where all of the magic happens and all of the hard work that we've done, getting everything connected, this is where it's all going to come together. So this last step, this is to schedule it. The prompt should prompt you to pick a time and schedule this as a scheduled task. If it does not prompt you to do so, you can ask it like, hey, I want to schedule this as a task that will run every day or every weekday. But this is the magic. This is the power of the daily briefing, is that you are not going to have to do anything. You should not have to manually go in and run this. This is autonomous. This is the magic of AI. It's going to run on its own. I have mine set to run at 5:55 a.m. every weekday, Monday through Friday. Now, the reason I chose 5:55, because I'm definitely not out of bed at 5:55 a.m., but that's because that is in off-peak hours for Claude token usage, which is just a fancy way of saying that it's cheaper on your tokens if you run it when the majority of other people are not also trying to do things in Claude. So I have mine run first thing in the morning so that it is saving me those Claude tokens. You have everything set up. You've got your scheduled task. Now, how do you actually pull this Claude Command Center? So over in the left-hand sidebar, you're going to go over to Scheduled, and that's going to show you your scheduled tasks. And you should, in there, you should see your morning briefing or your command center or whatever it is that you called it. You click on that, and there's a little button in the upper right-hand corner that says Run Now. That will manually run your command center. Now, you're going to set it to run at 5:55, so it'll automatically run. But if you want to test it now, have it run, click the timing in the little main area. You'll see like a little thing pops up, and you'll actually get to see what it's doing. You can kind of see behind the curtain as it's running. For me, it's reading files, it's loading tools, it's updating the task, and it's going to spit out for me what in Claude is called an artifact. Now, this artifact is your command center. It actually looks like a little app. It's going to be formatted, it's going to be pretty, and it's going to show you exactly what you need to do for the day. There are some other things that we went through in the Buildathon that I am not going to go into. They are part of that Adobe PDF space. This is the main Claude Command Center workbook that I created for everybody. So if you want to go and get that, and there are some next steps in there, there's a workbook where you can really level up you can add in, if you've got an Enneagram or a disc number, if you want to add some cycle tracking, if you want to add a weather report, you can add all of that. And I kind of walk through how to add some of that stuff. Go to links.mileanddigital.com/CCC for Claude Command Center. And that is going to take you through the workbook and walk you through each of these steps. I would not expect you to be furiously scribbling all of this down right now. That's why I made the workbook for you. So I hope you all have a ton of fun with that. If you do want to watch the whole replay of the Claude Command Center of the Buildathon, that is available on my Substack. For all of my AI Queen Society members, you guys have access to that forever as part of your membership. And if you are not a member, then you can always join and watch the Buildathon from there. All right, Queens, that's all I've got for you today. Those of you that came to the Buildathon, thank you. It was so much fun teaching you. Those of you that missed out, please take a look at the walkthrough, and at the very least, just give this a try. It is so much simpler than it seems to have an automated AI agent that's going to run for you without you even asking. And I feel like once you dip your toes in with something like this, it's really going to open the door and open up a ton of opportunity for you to get curious and get in there and play and start connecting other things that you want Claude to learn and know and be able to do. Thanks again. Keep building and keep reigning with AI, and I will be back again with you next week. Thanks for listening to the AI Queens podcast. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow queen who needs to hear this. Want more tools and tips? Join the AI Queens Society over at aiqueens.com and start ruling your business with confidence today. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep reigning with AI.